Hello everyone. I have tried several times to get this video out, and each time I've become overly emotional, or my thoughts have just become so jumbled because my heart is breaking so much. There are a few topics I would like to cover, but I ask you to please listen from your heart and soul, not as a Democrat, Republican, or any other party, but as a person, as a human being, as a caring human being. I have 3 children. I'm blind. I lost my sight when I was 10, which was quite scary. It was really scary. I got lost. I was mistreated sometimes by adults. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. I had to step away for a second. It was a scary and hard time. You know, it was hard to say the least. But my concern was I wanted everybody else to be okay. I wanted my parents to be okay. I wanted them to know that I was okay and I was a normal kid. I wanted them to know that I was still me. So anyway, I've been through quite a bit, even as a young child. Obviously, losing your sight is one thing. The reason I bring that up is because I think of these children that we're holding America at our borders. Again, please don't think as a Democrat or Republican, as a person, please. I think about the fear of these children that they have in them, like day in, day out fear of not knowing when they're going to see their mommy and daddy again. Not knowing what's really happening. They are sleeping on the floor with aluminum blankets in cages, in unsanitary conditions with no soap, no water. They were giving them wet wipes to wipe with, if that. Can you honestly take a 2-year-old child and explain to them that they're not gonna feel their mom's arms tonight, or dad, or grandma, or grandpa, whoever takes care of them, their comfort? No child, no matter if they're Mexican, black, white, whatever, no child on earth deserves that. It's neglect. It's terror for them. It's unfair. I promised these kids, of course they don't know it, in my heart, that I'm gonna put this video out. And this has been, I don't know how many takes, because I get overly emotional, because I'm an emotional person as it is. But when it comes to babies, when it comes to kids, that's my passion right there, to take care of them, to make sure they're safe. That should be all of our concern. There is no room to play with semantics right now, to explain to me about rules and regulations, because the babies that are in there don't understand that. There's so much that I want to cover, and it's hard. Because 1, it's emotional. 2, it seems like I'm all over the place, but I'm going to try to cover what I can. But my main topic are these babies, are these kids. You know how it feels when you haven't showered? I'm gonna be real here, okay? You can smell yourself. You can start to feel itchy in places that you shouldn't. Do you know what it's like not to have access to running water? There are a lot of kids in other countries who don't have easy access to running water. That shouldn't be happening here. That shouldn't happen anywhere. Again, if I could just do something for all kids, I would. These kids being held at the border, it doesn't need to be happening. There was a story I read I think it could have been the beginning of last year or the year before that. I can't quite remember. But it broke my heart. A baby was nursing. And I guess his mom wasn't quote unquote legal. And they took the baby out, ripped the baby out of her arms. That little. Is that necessary? Is that really necessary? Let's not go again into the rules and regulations. Let's not go into that. A 16-year-old boy died last month. I just read an article from the flu, something completely preventable. I have a 16-year-old and an 11-year-old and an 8-year-old. And there's nothing I wouldn't do for them to keep them safe. We may not have it all. We may not have the best of things. But my number one goal is to keep them safe. That should be for all children. No matter what quote unquote mistakes their parents have made. Some of them just wanted a better life. Some of you will argue with me that they should have gone through the process the right way. Have you ever gone through the process of becoming a legal citizen? And I'm not going to go into this fully, but do you really understand what that entails? Do you really know what they have to go through? I'm not saying that there shouldn't be a process for whatever. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be rules and regulations. But let's be fair, guys. I'm hearing about Hispanic, Mexican borders, this and that, and we don't hear about that when it comes from other countries. I mean, the president is half German, am I right? His wife is not from America, am I right? But she's here. The way he talks about immigrants is just terrible because I don't want to go into that. I refuse to go into that. Because again, it's not about parties. I'm not talking about anything political here. Let's get back to the person, because I do that. I tend to go off on tangents sometimes just because there's so much I want to say. We have to do something about these kids. These beautiful children, none of them deserve it. You have to think. You have to have a mindset of a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, an uncle, an aunt. As a human being, we don't even want animals in these conditions, but we will allow our children to be in these conditions. And even if they aren't what you deem American children, isn't it America where it's supposed to be the land of the free? Where equal opportunities exist? I'll tell you what, That's bullshit. I'm blind. I am Mexican. And I have been trying, and the reason I'm saying I'm Mexican is because I'm damn proud of it. My parents and I, yes, we were born here. Okay? I have tried for years to get a job. I'm 36 years old. And I haven't been able to land a respectable position. And it is because I'm blind. I just went through a certification process for telecommunications. For jobs that anyone, almost anyone could go in and get without training. I am grateful for the training, don't get me wrong. I now know how to use an Excel program, which I thought was impossible for a blind person. But it is possible because we have software now that allows us to do those things. You know, to be a normal human being with the rest of you guys. America. I have been in several interviews and I have felt the elephant in the room because I know their conclusion. I am not negative. I am realistic. I'm 36 and I have tried for many positions and I am worthy, just as the next person. But yet I'm told by other people, sometimes even other blind Americans, just get a job. Really? Most of those people have been either nicely taken care of by their parents, by their husband, or by some source of income that wasn't the state or the government. There are also people here in America that receive welfare checks and SSI checks and who are on Section 8, who are able-bodied, who can go to work, who can go get a job. But they're in the welfare office talking about their hair and nails that they're going to get done while their baby isn't even properly clothed. But they are. I'm sorry. This is America. The land of the free, where most of the population are Black and Mexican in jail without fair trial. Sometimes probably without explanation. Throw and lock away the key. My father almost died in jail. My father almost died in jail because he was a heart patient and they didn't want to give him his heart medication. He didn't do anything terrible to anyone to be in jail. I'm not going to go into that. But he didn't. My dad was a remarkable, incredible man who I'll always look up to. He could have died in there. Same thing happened. Well, I may not want to go into that. We have a huge population in jail. A huge population of Blacks and Hispanics who are in jail. There isn't much rehabilitation, if any. They are just mistreated. Don't get me wrong. Murders, rapists, child molesters, to hell with you. It goes without saying. So again, let's not play around with semantics. It's unfair. Going back to the applications and job thing. Each application I have filled out says we are of equal opportunity. We don't discriminate, right? Against disability, race, sexual orientation, whatever it is. Yeah, they do. The housing rate here is insane. It goes up. But guess what? The handouts that you guys talk about that I get, because, you know, most of you won't hire me, even the ones that are watching this goddamn video won't hire me, that check doesn't go up. The child support that I'm supposed to be getting, I'm not even getting half of it from him. I don't know how much the state takes, but the reason is unclear to me of how this all works, but I know it's wrong. I know that they can take your benefits in a hot second, but take forever to actually give the people like myself, who you guys deem disabled, because we can't see, and the reason why I say that is because you guys will put us down. You guys won't hire us for your jobs, but then you guys don't want to have someone like me receive a check. It's a handout, right? Is this really America? I don't know what it is. I mean, this is the country that held slavery. That wasn't that long ago. And now we're holding children in cages. How can I feel comfortable with celebrating the 4th of July when this is going on? You look at me because I'm Mexican. Am I dirty? Am I filth? Am I disgusting to you? Are those children? Even by a lot of your guys' logic, their parents not doing it the right way in the process and so on and so forth, do these kids deserve to feel terrified? Do you know they will remember this for the rest of their lives? And some of you will say, well, good, maybe their parents should make better decisions. Fuck that. This is America. This shouldn't be happening to these children. Celebrities, you need to put your money where your mouth is. And I hope you guys know I'm normally a level-headed human being, but I do love children. And this has been getting under my skin for a while now. I wish I had money to help. And I don't know how. But you guys have resources. We all can get together. Everyone says call your Congress people and yada yada. They're not listening. I wrote Gavin Newsom a while ago. I didn't get a response. Not about this, when I had a neighbor downstairs harassing me for X amount of months, and I was scared. I feared for my life, honestly, because he had hurt a woman that lived here prior to him. They don't hear you until you're dead. And that's the truth of it. Until something horrible happens, like that baby boy, Gabriel, from the Antelope Valley. He was tortured by his mother. This is America. You social workers, everybody left him there. But you guys will speak on so many things, but you don't act on it. Again, my mind and heart are about the kids. It's about what is America really, guys? What is it? I'm really confused. My rent goes up, but my income doesn't. I can't get hired. Everybody's not hearing me. I just feel like, not just me, but anyone in my position, anyone in those helpless kids' positions, even their parents, no one's hearing them. You guys aren't with them when they're crying at night and probably throughout the day because they miss their families. Because they probably have rashes and infections because there's no clean water and soap to clean with. They're giving them wet naps to clean with, wet wipes. I know I'm everywhere, but please, please feel the heart of what I'm talking about. This isn't a party problem, you guys. It's a human problem. This is humanity we're talking about. It's inhumane. We have the resources to take care of these children, but yet they're getting the shit end of the stick. Really think about that. How can you sleep at night for the ones that try to explain it away to me? You know how you can sleep at night? Because you have health care. Because you have running water. You don't have to worry about your tooth like mine cracking and falling out because you are covered. Your kids have clothes and shoes, probably plenty, and thank God for that. Every kid should be covered and taken care of. Every child should be. I struggle to make sure mine have it, but I make it happen one way or another. It is hard. America. I want to work. You think I like having to answer to people? People that are being detained, you don't think they want to be treated like regular people, have regular jobs, just be able to live where they want? You know what I mean? Some of them are coming from terrible situations where they may not get running water at all. We don't know. We don't know individual situations. All a lot of you are doing is judging and going off of what your political party is telling you. It's deeper than that. Like I said, hold your babies and think about that. Think about them being in that position. And right now, this has been the hardest video for me to make. I have probably tried to record this 10 or more times because I was getting emotional and crying, but I don't want to do that, even though I do. My kids even ask me, why is this happening? And even with me explaining about the whole immigration process and everything like that, they're saying, but these kids, they're still in danger, Mommy. Why is this happening here? They're being abused. They're being hurt in there, you guys. There was a story of a 9-year-old boy. They said that they were getting sticks. He was getting sticks pushed into his ribs. They thought he didn't understand English, but he did. And they were saying terrible things in English. We have to take in mind, if they've been here, they've obviously been going to American schools, haven't they? And they've been working just as hard as our kids who work here, right? And their parents, if not harder. This child was being abused. I can't remember. I wish I can pull up the article. In fact, I'll try to. Shouldn't be happening here. It shouldn't be happening anywhere. There should be no child being hurt or abused. I mean, you guys talk about North Korea, which is terrible, horrible situations. I've heard stories from there, from people who used to live there and who got away. Not having food, not having. What do you want America to become? Because I'm sorry, like, you can't tell me, you just can't tell me that this makes sense. You can't tell me that you would allow any of your kids to be in those situations, because you shouldn't. But why should you allow others to be? Because they're not your color? Because they're not your family, not your race, not your problem? Their parents should have made better decisions? I mean, come on, I'm not trying to be condescending, but these are just things that I keep hearing. But all I keep imagining are those kids in there. All I keep thinking about are their little voices, their cries, their needs. That's all I keep thinking about, that's all. I'm gonna let you guys go now. But I ask that we stand up somehow. Please share this video. No child should suffer. No child should sleep on the floor with an aluminum cover. I'm not in the best situation. I feel so guilty for complaining about not having a bed. Because I'm going to get one eventually. But I feel like shit for complaining. And I don't really complain. I feel even guilty for thinking it. But I just ask that you find it in your hearts, especially for those of you that are capable of doing something, which I think we all are. Can you imagine if we all went on strike? Yeah, it would hurt us, but something would have to be done. Do you know that those kids are only supposed to be held for 72 hours in the detention centers? That's not happening. They're being held way longer than that. And just in case I didn't mention it earlier in my video, a 16-year-old boy died from the flu. I think I did mention it, but I can't get over it. The father and baby that tried to cross drowned to death. That little baby did not deserve that. You can try to blame her dad all you want, but he was trying to keep her safe. We can't judge. We don't know the individual situation. But you know what I know? The baby drowned. The baby got water in her lungs and drowned to death. That's all. That should not be happening. That's why I don't want to celebrate 4th of July. Because I'm not sure what we stand for anymore. It hurts. And it hurts that I feel helpless. So that's all I'm going to say for now. I know I was everywhere here. But I hope you can find it in your hearts to truly feel what I'm saying as a human being. Please, because it's long overdue. Alrighty, I'll talk to you guys soon. And if I lose you as a viewer, good riddance.